All right, we are back with another pick'em video, and this is getting way too common now. We swept the board again. The run has been absolutely insane. If you guys are new to this channel, I show my wins and losses every single video. I'm very transparent in that, and we have been crushing it the past 2-3 weeks in NBA. And it makes sense if you think about it logically. The NBA's everyone's kind of getting into their groove. Playoff teams are playing well. They're playing a lot. If they made a trade, they got to play their guys more. And then in terms of the injuries and things like that, you kind of have some knowledge of how teams play without certain players. And we're 50 games in. We got a whole lot of data to look at for this specific season. So this is the time where we make a lot of money. At the beginning of the year, if you've got knowledge for the sport, you can also do that. There's usually a lull again when teams are either getting the rotations correct. People are getting minutes, bounced around all the time, figuring out what works. And then other teams are starting to click. So that's when we saw a lot of blowouts happen and things of that sorts. But yeah, we've just been crushing it and wanted to show off and give a shout out to T Maki 12. Ended up winning $10,000 yesterday using the video picks. We swept. They're right up top. Cam Thomas, Jalen Johnson, Draymond Green, and Clint Capella. Now the cool thing about these picks were also they all probably got bumped. Every pick I give out will probably get bumped just because we always attack value. But yeah, even after the bumps, I think Draymond Green went all the way up to 6.5 points. He cashed that. Jalen Johnson was the only one that was a little bit, quote unquote, scary. And that's just because he had like 7 points in the first half. But he was shooting the ball. He just wasn't making them. And that came in the second. Cam Thomas drops 40 points. So again, flamethrower we went to in a good spot playing with Ben Simmons. And then Clint Capella crushed his rebounds line, 9.5 for Clint Capella. If I ever see that again, it's just like it doesn't. If you see Clint Capella at 9.5 boards, hit it for sure. I love this slip too. I'm just going to keep talking about it just because he also put his own knowledge into this. You don't have to. Some people are like, oh, tail me 100%, no questions asked, which is fine. Like if you do that, you're going to be profiting. I'm very profitable in doing this. But if you want to like not do that and you want to throw your own research into this, he threw Hartenstein into there under turnovers. Great call. He had 0. And then DeJounte Murray, I think this is rebounds and assists. So again, I'm not someone that's saying, hey, tail me exactly or else you're going to, whatever, I'm going to scream at you. To put your own knowledge into this. And, if you like the picks that I say and they make sense to you, definitely go ahead and put them on. I put a lot of research into this, but you don't have to tail me blindly. But worked out for this one, $10,000. A lot of people profited from this. I hope you guys did too. I went and zoomed in here, but this is the Rich Club. This is the premium I guess this is the premium Discord for the YouTube channel. There is a free aspect as well. A bunch of people have been joining over the past week, of course, because we've been crushing it. And would love to have you in the Rich Club. I'm running a promotion until February 8th, which is right here. You can read this. This is a few days ago, but you can read this. All you got to do is sign up using one of my links or codes to any of my partners down below. PrizePicks, Underdog, Sleeper, Chalkboard, Dabble, or DG Fantasy. If you're not on any of those and you want to try them out, definitely go ahead and use my code and then DM me. I got a few guys to get back to right here, but I'm pretty responsive about it. It is Sunday, have a little bit less time on Sundays, but definitely wanted to get a video out for you guys. There's 3 p.m. games in Eastern time, so I wanted to get it out, not too late. I do love going to my dunk lines, my fantasy score lines, but won't be able to do that today. But again, just sign up, hit me up in the DM, say, hey, use your code, and I'll get you in for 2 months free. That's till February 8th. Once February 8th hits, that's probably going to lower. This will probably still be available, but it's not going to be for 2 months. So take advantage of it. I would love to have you guys, and we just continue to grow. We love talking props. People are always talking. If you want to check right here, timestamps and everything like that. People love talking props. We love talking sports in here, and the community continues to grow, and I'm having a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's jump into the board here. Now, I wanted to show this as well. We threw on Chris Middleton. This looked like a for sure 5 for 5. He was the last guy to go as well. We were just waiting for him. Played 38 minutes, shot the ball a whole lot, just could not get them to fall. Unfortunate there. It was a good read. I'm not too worried about it. But we'd love to get that 10x on this one in the Rich Club. Again, this was a premium slip here. But 4 for 4 in the video picks. Love to see that. So let's jump into the board. It is Sunday, so I don't typically have as much time on Sundays. And I'd love to attack fantasy scores. I love to attack dunk lines, but they're just starting to pop up now. And some games start at 3 p.m. So You'll have 3 hours to make these picks. I'm actually only going to go over 2 plays. It's something I don't usually do. I know a lot of YouTubers only give 2 plays every single time. I like to give you guys as much value as possible and give you 5 picks, 4 picks that you can pick and choose from, or just tail if you want to do that. But 2 plays today. I will go over the games really quick because I think we got a lot of blowout potential and a whole lot of injuries to talk about. Orlando and Detroit. This is a great spot for Orlando players. The only thing is like Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. Their lines are just a little bit too high for my liking. I think Wendell Carter Jr., especially first half, could be pretty solid here. And then for Detroit's side, I don't want to go any unders. It's Cade Cunningham's back in here. Jaden Ivey's been crushing it. Just be careful of his hit rate, because Cade is back and looking like he's going to play again today. If Cade doesn't play, I'd definitely attack Jaden Ivey. But 7-point spread, anything can happen there. I like Orlando overs. It's probably my way to go for that one. For Phoenix, this could be, a blowout. Again, 11.5 spread. This should be probably higher in my opinion. No Kyle Kuzma as well. Jordan Poole is going to shoot like 25 shots if he gets any normal amount of minutes. I would not touch his lines because he's so hit or miss, but I wouldn't go under on him either, even in a tougher matchup. For Phoenix, again, a tough thing to call here just because it's a 12-point spread, but maybe some first half plays for Booker, for Beal, for Kevin Durant, whoever you want to choose, whoever you think is going to have the better game, the better matchup. Again, it's kind of difficult to figure out just because sometimes it's Booker, sometimes it's Durant to go to. So there is that game. Memphis and Boston. This is a game we're going to be talking about a little bit about. Everyone and their mother is all out for Memphis. Even Jaren Jackson Jr., who's been like the last man standing here. And we still got game time decisions for Vince Williams and Conchar. So this is probably going to be a 30-point game. I expect Boston players might not even play the second half if this goes the way I think it's going to go. Boston's also at home where they are very, very good. And they've also lost a few games in a row. Jaylen Brown might sit here, but I think Boston's going to go ahead and say, "Hey, we lost a few ago. Let's go destroy this little team. We just lost to the Lakers without LeBron, without AD, and they want to get one back." So I think Celtics players' minutes will probably be very much down because they will crush these guys. And then Memphis, I'm not touching anything here. It's too hard to predict. Clippers and Miami, very defensive game here. 225.5 is the point spread or the point total. Probably nothing too crazy here. Paul George has kind of been minutes restriction, playing, not playing, things like that. So kind of difficult to predict LA. Kawhi's been killing it, obviously. And then Miami obviously made that Rozier trade. Unders on Bam have been pretty solid. Jimmy's kind of in playoff Jimmy mode a little bit earlier than normal years just because they're kind of bad. 26 and 23, they're not bad, but hovering around 500. Indiana and Charlotte, this could be a great smash spot for some overs. You got to get news on Halliburton, Mather, and Turner. There's no Indiana lines up right now, so difficult there, but it is a 10-point spread, so maybe some first half plays. I wanted Halliburton first half, just not out yet. That's the unfortunate thing about Sundays because games start earlier. I want to attack, first half plays, fantasy scores, dunk lines, things like that, and you just can't do that when the lines aren't out. So Indiana, again, Halliburton, if he plays, I definitely attack his first half. He's been playing kind of normal minutes, almost normal minutes in the first half, and then really hasn't been playing at all in the second half, so that's the way I attack that. Houston and Minnesota, Sengun under rebounds at 9.5 was popping up. I don't love it because he's been crushing that. And then these guys have played before. Definitely check the game log from last time they played. But again, Houston is a pretty defensive team. Minnesota is obviously a very defensive team, but we don't know about Gobert. So again, kind of another one that's up in the air without Gobert news. Toronto and OKC, we got quickly. His line's at like 18.5. If this isn't like a ridiculous blowout, again, maybe you go first half on quickly. But he's scoring the ball ridiculously well. RJ's a game time decision, so that's going to be interesting. But Quickly likes to shoot the ball, and he can score pretty quickly. No pun intended. But yeah, he scored 25 points into his return. He looked pretty good, and he wasn't hesitant at all. Scotty Barnes has been kind of horrible lately. He's not scoring the ball well. So hard to predict him because he has potential to be very, very good. And then on the OKC side, we don't have Isaiah Joe or Jalen Williams, but we're going to be talking about someone over here because they have not been getting minutes regardless if these guys play or not. So going to be attacking an under for OKC. Again, it's an 8.5 point spread, so maybe they go out and crush these guys, which would be nice. But yeah, definitely an interesting spot here. Jakob Bertel is also back for that one. And then we got Milwaukee and Utah. Sorry if this is a little bit longer than I expected, but Milwaukee and Utah, hopefully this is a little value to you guys. This is ridiculous to me. I don't understand. Looks like Middleton is now a game time decision. I would expect him, if he doesn't play, that makes sense to me. I'd love to go to Middleton because he's been crushing his line and he missed last game because he shot the ball a whole lot. This is, again, Doc Rivers is coming into town. They are 33-16. They want to keep it rolling. And they got a new coach. They got to figure out their plays. They got to figure out how to play together under their new system and things like that. So if they play, I expect them to get their normal minutes. And going against Utah, it's a great matchup. I don't understand how Utah is 2.5-point favorites. If you can bet on sports books, hammer that line. Milwaukee is underdogs going against this team. I don't get it. Utah's actually lost like 3 games in a row too. So I'm not touching Utah's lines at all. Maybe John Collins actually and Colin Sexton just because they've been so consistent, kind of, when they get the minutes, especially. But for Milwaukee, Middleton, if he's going to play, interesting spot there. Brook Lopez sat last game. He's been consistent as well, getting a whole lot of runs. So that's my take on this game. And then we got Portland and Denver. They played, I think, like 2 days ago. They're on like a back-to-back set. I think both games in Denver as well. So we have a pretty good sample size. Brogdon is the guy that I like without Shaedon Sharpe. So that's probably my guy that I go to. Anthony Simons has been playing well, but Denver's defense is obviously one of the better ones in the league right now. KCP being game time decision, I think he'll be ready to go. But I like Brogdon. He's been consistent. Look at his stats without Sharpe; they've been really good, but nothing too crazy there. Another 14-point spread, so it's hard to go to those. But that's my take on the games. Didn't expect to go over all of them, but hopefully you got some value out of that. And let's just quickly go over 2 plays. Again, super excited for the games today. There's a whole bunch of them. And if you're in the Discord, we're definitely going to be attacking fantasy scores, dunk lines, things like that as they start to drop. And a little bit after this video, they'll be popping up in your notifications. So the first guy we're going to be talking about is Porzingis for the Celtics. Going to a 7.5 rebound tier. Don't know how this hasn't bumped down yet, but we're going under. And this will probably go to 7. I'd almost still take it at 7. I'd highly recommend going to Sleeper or Chalkboard or something and taking it at 7.5. Because if it gets bumped down on Prize Picks, it's still going to be on Sleeper and on Chalkboard and things like that. So go over there if it gets bumped. That'd be my recommendation. But if you still want to play it at 7, I think you totally could. And again, we talked about it. It's going against Memphis, the team that's absolutely a skeleton crew right now. I'll show you one more time. Right here. Insane. Everyone's out again. So they're going to get crushed is, again, my thought process on this. Boston's going to come in. They've lost a few games now over the past 5. They just lost to the Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves-less Lakers. People are saying, oh, Celtics aren't ready to win a championship, things like that. So they're going to be in their the best form. They should crush these guys by 30. Up 30 by the first half is not out of the question, and Porzingis shouldn't get his normal run. So let's go to Porzingis. He's a 7'3" guy, but he doesn't rebound the ball all too much. Look at the matchup is not great. He's a center now on Boston, 28th ranked in terms of allowing rebounds to centers, but all of these are totally skewed because, again, Memphis is like a G League team right now. 8 of the last 10 games he's gone under this. But the thing I really want to point to is let's go to the whole year. 60% hit rate on the whole year right there. Jaylen Brown is a question mark in this one, so I don't think that hurts his rebounding as well as much as anyone might think. I don't think they would even think that. But in games that he doesn't play, let's say, 30 minutes. Let's say he gets 30 minutes today. 81% hit rate. He just doesn't get rebounds that much. Yes, he can go in there and grab 10. It would be unlucky for us, but he is more of a box out guy and lets these other guys grab rebounds. Again, he's 7'3". It's a scary line for a 7'3" guy, but he doesn't rebound the ball all too well. And I watched a lot of Celtics games. So 18.5-point spread. Hoping Boston comes in and crushes these guys. In games that the Celtics have won by, let's say, more than 10 points, hit rate also looks good. So if you want to look at this multiple ways, 73% hit rate on that. So loving this line. And the odds on this line are really liking this as well. So again, we got great hit rate. We got great knowledge and info on the game itself. But let's go to the odds. These are the, these people know what they're doing, where the market value is. Let's go to Porzingis. Actually, it's popping up right there. Didn't even have to type in his name. But we'll let that load for a second. Rebounds under 53.21% chance to hit, minus 130 across the boards. Pinnacle had this at like minus 151. I'm interested. This is probably just Jaylen Brown's like a game time decision. And they're like, oh, if Jaylen Brown misses, he's going to rebound more or whatever. I don't think so. But I love this. Definitely favored on the under. And then in terms of the projection model, I actually haven't looked at this yet. This is RotoWire. This is definitely the cheapest tool you can get. It's like $12 a month. and they kind of show you a little bit of everything. So if you're money pinching pennies for, not pinching pennies, you shouldn't be doing this if you're pinching pennies. But if you want to get a cheaper tool, this is the one to go to. Again, just hit my link in the description. And let's go to Porzingis. I'm curious to see what they're thinking. Again, I'm not hiding anything from you guys. And it looks like they are on the over here for the rebounds. They're projecting 8.06. RotoWire is definitely one of the top projections models out there. I think it is the best. But I just happen to think that Porzingis isn't going to get the run because the Celtics are going to absolutely crush these guys. So if he gets 25, even if he gets 30 minutes, he's been very, very much on the under here. And even if Jaylen Brown doesn't play, I just don't think Porzingis is going to play enough minutes to get this line. So everything doesn't have to line up all the time. But again, I'm not hiding anything from you guys. If you're very much predictions or projection model based, maybe this isn't one you like. But I did actually just see that Pinnacle popped back up over here. And this line, in terms of odds, is looking ridiculous. Minus 158 on Pinnacle. Everywhere else has this very much heavily favored on the under. So this will get bumped again. I love it. You got my take on it. But let's move on to our next guy, which is going to be Josh Giddey. This is very much a minutes dependent pick. We can see at 18.5. We have to question, why is this line higher than it should be? The hit rate on this is very, very good. And it's because Jalen Williams for the Thunder is out. Isaiah Joe is also out for this team too. But we can look into games without them. Jalen Williams, J-Dubs missed 4 games, and we can check those out. But 71% hit rate on the year of this line. It's a guy that was very much a focal point of the offense last year, a triple-double kind of guy, but it's only getting around 24.7 minutes, and it's really, really trending downwards. So the first thing we want to look at is in games under 30 minutes. So let's say he doesn't get his 30 minutes, 79% hit rate. If he goes down to 25 minutes, which is what his average is for the year, let's go to 25, 84% hit rate. So really incredible to see that. Now, again, we have to think Jalen Williams is out of this game. Isaiah Joe's out of this game. How does he play? How much does he play without those guys in the lineup? And we can see without J-Dub, don't be confused, there's 2 Jalen Williams on this team. This is the better one. He's hitting 5 of 5 games, and it's because he's not getting any increase in minutes. 4.3 minutes. He actually plays a tiny bit less when J-Dub's out of the lineup. So love to see that. And then we can actually look at games without Isaiah Joe as well. And he's missed a whole bunch of games. Or not a whole bunch of games. He's missed only 2 games is what I meant to say. And he hit in both of those as well. So I don't think he's going to get some crazy increase in minutes. I don't know why the line is that, they probably bumped it up a little bit because they couldn't do it too much or too less. But yeah, the hit rate's incredible. I don't think he's going to get some crazy amount of run. If he does get 30 minutes, if you think he's getting 30 minutes, probably don't take it because in the 5 games within 30 minutes, he's hit. But in the games that he's played less than 30 minutes, it's like an 80% hit rate, which is incredible. So even with these injuries news, they're going up against Toronto. It's an 8.5 point spread. It's, a team that he hasn't played this year, so we can't look directly at that. But, it's not the worst matchup in the world. It's hard to take these stats into account just because Toronto's kind of been making some big moves. They traded OG, they traded Siakam. So they didn't get some crazy defensive players, but they play a little bit differently. So in terms of the matchup and things like that, it's nothing too crazy. But again, I just don't think Giddey's going to get enough time to hit this line. They have better options in Shea, they have better options in Chet, and those guys are going to do most of the damage. So Giddey under 18.5 points and assists. Let's go over to the odds though, get the market value, see if we are attacking a good line. I don't think the odds are as crazy as the Porzingis line in this one, but we can look up Giddey. And we see a few lines popping up for him. So there might be a different way to go to this if you want to. These lines were not up before. So looks like points and assists are giving it around a 51% chance to go under. And this is what's great about having these tools. Because these lines weren't up and it's integrated with PrizePicks, now we're getting these other lines up. And I might be shifting right to his points line at 53% chance to hit. They got a lot of data points, minus 130 pretty much across the board. He can go out and dime the ball. I just don't think he's scoring as well. And we can jump over to his points line over here, and it's pretty much the same hit rate, even a little bit better on the year, 75% under. So all of what I just said about the points and assist line still is in play here. But yeah, let's shift to his points line that's popping up now. So 13.5 points, and those will be the video picks. So Porzingis under 7.5 rebounds. I think the Celtics are going to crush Memphis today, and Porzingis won't get his minutes. Actually, this is both a minutes pick, but I don't think he's going to get as much run. He doesn't rebound the ball all too well anyway. And then Josh Giddey under 13.5 points. Yes, Jalen Williams is out. Yes, Isaiah Joe is out, but we haven't seen some crazy increase in minutes. So loving these two. We'll go ahead and lock them in, and that will do it. So again, want to shout out to the Discord one more time. Love the amount of people that have been joining. I hope you've had a good experience so far. If you have, again, leave a comment down below. It just helps YouTube push this video out a little bit more. And like the video, the lights have been going crazy. And yeah, just hope you guys enjoy it. Sign up to any of my codes. You'll get into the Discord for free for 2 months. That only is till February 8th. So you have till Thursday to do that for the 2 months. And again, just super excited to continue to grow. And I'll see you guys in the Discord, or if not, I'll see you guys in the next video.